I've got something that reminds me of the fun I've had, but also the continued enjoyment of seeing it in the cabinet, or if it's a gaming piece, playing with it.
They can't stand it. They just want to get it done, get it on the table because they like the playing.
I'd love someone to comment and say that they find painting 40 clan rats fun.
Oh, you will. 100% someone would. Someone out there would definitely say, oh, I love painting massive blobs of infantry. Guarantee it. I want to throw my head through a window, but some people, they love it. Every model has an ugly phase. Every time you look at and I'll get halfway through anything, I'm like, oh, this looks rubbish. The blends aren't good, the model, I don't like the colour. Oh.
I've had some models where I've had 100% ugly phase.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of the Sprue Goons podcast with me, Dickie, and the beast of brushes, Darren. How you doing?
Beast of brushes, not too bad.
Good.
Not jet lagged.
I was going to say, you've deserted me this week, haven't you? So when we get to the part about hobby, for you, it's going to be
slim pickings.
Non-existent, I think is the word you actually want.
Yeah.
But no, you've been off to America, haven't you? Jet setting with your important job.
Yeah.
Unlike some of us that just drive around smashing up vans.
Little bit of context needed there.
I do delivery driving for a living, and this week I decided to go into a bush and rip half the van off. So I had to move over though because a car was coming round the other way. So round the other way, he was coming round the corner. That's what I mean to say. And I had to move over. Yeah. Stupid prick. He was right on my side of the road. Anyway, as you can probably tell as well, I'm getting over another bout of sickness since you've been away. See, I've fallen apart, Darren. When you're not here, it's my life force just drains. When my hobby life force kills me off. Yeah. It always seems to attack my throat as well. Like I lost my voice the other day again. Every time I get ill, it's like, and it goes straight to my throat and coughing and I can't talk.
You're shouting at your models again. That's
Dry, you fucker. Anyway, we've got a bit of the rails there. Good start. So how we been, Darren? All right, apart from work, all good?
Yeah, fine. Just hobby-wise,
just terrible.
For
the so go on.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that I've got. Yeah, I'm now going into I'm going to immerse, and I've got quite a few projects lined up. But yeah, last week or so, well, I've been away for a week. The week before that, really get much done.
Getting ready for going away.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, now it's kind of like back into the swing of it. We've got a project coming up that you'll probably hear about next time, or will have seen since, and I've got a few other things that I want to work on as well. I know that I like to get the barbarian painted from Hero Quest. That's sort of like a personal.
Yeah. Well, you've got a bit of a thing for a bit of a fetish for barbarians, haven't you?
Anything that looks like owning a barbarian.
Yeah, fine. The less said about that, the better, though. In your personal barbarian fetishes.
Yeah.
But also as well, I don't know if for the visual viewers on YouTube, we took the advice given.
Yeah.
About maybe we have some bit more, hobby related in the background. In our defence, that is in the pipeline. We've got plans to have a kind of a proper setup with maybe a logo, make it look like we actually
basically try and distract you from having to look at us. Yeah. So anything that's sort of in addition, is going to be better. I think.
Listen to us ugly mugs go on about absolute rubbish. You can just look at some boxes of models in the background. But again, eventually that is the plan, to have an actual proper setup. So shut up and put up, all right, until we're ready. Hobby, what have I been up to?
You've been up to quite a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to get back into the groove a bit now. So I've painted up. I know you've been putting some of it on Instagram. Yeah. So I've been painting up some stuffed fables. So like a dungeon crawler board game, which is aimed primarily at like families and not young children, but I would say like teenagers. A bit like families that want to get their kids into,
wargaming,
board gaming, that kind of, which
games,
is,
I guess,
something that I definitely want to do. But it's a game, again, typical me, that I owned a few years ago. Really enjoyed it. My wife loved it. A lot of her friends loved it because it's a bit lighter. It's a bit better for like casual gamers. If you got some of my wife's friends round and they were like, right, let's play a board game, and I whacked out Gloomhaven, they'd be getting their coats on and going out, that kind of thing. But this is a bit more approachable. It's got some good mechanics. It is, it's quite
a few
to
people on Instagram have yeah, kind of said like, oh yeah, like I've played this with my daughter and stuff like that. So it's definitely, yeah, it's got a bit more of that sort of
family appeal.
Yeah, family.
But that
appeal,
said,
yeah.
I have downloaded off of their website, a set of like rules for like say grown-ups but adults.
Yeah.
So it takes away some of the more like child-friendly mechanisms, so it makes
Right,
it a bit more like a classic dungeon crawler. It's based on like stuffed fable. It's about, imagine like Toy Story. It's about a little girl that's asleep. While she's asleep, these like her toys are basically protecting her. But there's a mechanic in it that when she wakes up, if she wakes up while you're playing, you get the bad ending. And if she doesn't wake up, you get the good ending. But in the like the kind of, I'd say, advanced rules that I've downloaded, if she wakes up, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Mission over. It's almost like in Toy Story, you know, when they kind of
they
flop to the floor and that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
So there's little things like that. There's something that I've downloaded which takes away some of the healing, makes it a little bit harder for you know. So I thought
for real gamers,
proper gamers, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll play it a bit, and once we get the rules down, then we will chuck in the harder rules. But yeah, no, got at the time of recording, I've got 1.5 heroes left to do. Really enjoying them. Good practicing with the airbrush as well, because there's lots of big flat areas for skin. Well, not skin, but fur, I suppose. Like like the elephant and the bear, they've got like no, it's not skin, so it's good to try lots of blending with.
And I think they're typically things where normally if you have like a less detailed model, especially like you say flat areas, they're really hard to do with the brush because you can't hide behind kind of like recesses and things like that. You
can't chuck a wash on it and leave it because it's
you've got to blend it properly.
They kind of, for me, these models sit in the what I call, I think I say to you, I call it the rumble slam zone.
Yeah.
Where like the models they're detailed, they're good sculpts, but they're not GW level of detail. Like sometimes I find GW paint models can be they're brilliant. I'm not, it's not a GW bashing thing, but they're
why not?
Well, it does fill out a character for me, but they're fun for a painter to paint.
Yeah.
Where sometimes for me, I feel like GW models is a bit of a slog.
Yeah.
Oh, the 16th leather belt that I've got to do. We'll get on that later. But
got onto fun.
But yeah, so no, I really enjoy painting them, and they kind of, again, because they're not overly detailed, and they are board game pieces at the end of the day. So they're not like a model kit, if you know what I mean. They're not going to be like, lots of alternate bits you can put on. And take
like
off.
I almost want to say, like especially some of like the new GW stuff, and people go mad on the bases and things like that. It's almost like a little mini diorama. Whereas when you get a piece like that or like a Rumble Slam model, it is the model, and that's it.
Yeah, it's
like
a gaming
the base
piece.
isn't part of the model.
Yeah.
It's the model.
Yeah,
and also like you say, the models are slightly less detailed. So it's almost like it helps with the way you paint. And I know I've said about it before, but because you paint so cleanly, it really suits that style of model.
Yeah,
because the model's quite clean. Yeah. So if you then paint it really clean, it just looks. It doesn't need the detail. Yeah. It looks. You wouldn't. I think if you added anything to that model, it would kind of take away from it. Yeah, if that makes sense.
I also feel like because there's not as much detail on them. It's not that they're not detailed, but because there's not excess detail or like bits all over the model, you feel like you're progressing more. Yeah. So like you put on your base coats, you do a few highlights, you paint a few. Oh, hang on, I'm over halfway through this one. Yeah. I'm getting somewhere, and it keeps the motivation up to keep going. We'll stop talking there because we're going to start bleeding into what we want to talk about later. But yeah, so I've done them. Saying about my clean painting, I've also finished another ogre for my Warcry warband. Yeah. Covered in blood, guts, and getting
clean blood and clean guts.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been doing on that kind of front with in terms of painting. But I've also, again, Stuffed Fables has kind of kicked in my board game kind of side, because obviously I kind of see that as a parallel to the tabletop, the board game. We all nerds, they love a board game, they love, tabletop game, they love all that kind of thing. So obviously with Stuffed Fables, that's one I'm painting at the moment. But I had a bit of a nerdy hobby pilgrimage today on my own, because I was a bit bored at home. I was painting these. I thought, I want to get out of the house. So I kind of pinched the car off the wife and went to a local gaming store, had a look around, and there's a board game that I've always wanted to get. It's called, I don't know if you've heard of it. You might have heard of it. It's quite lots of nerds would have heard of it, but it's called Everdell.
Okay.
It's a worker placement game. Imagine but it's got like animals. What's the word? I can never pronounce it. Anthropomorphic.
Yeah, that's the one.
There you go. First time.
Yeah, it's like animals that are like humans.
Yeah, basically it's like you build a city for them. You have workers, you go out, you get resources like berries, resin, twigs, and you collect enough and you can get cards and you build a city with those cards. But if you build like the school, and then if you pull the teacher card, which is like a crow,
right, okay,
you can put that in your city for free because it moves into the school. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's got really clever mechanics where you can build a city, but you get the right build the town and they all come. Build it and they all come kind of thing. It's really popular game. It's got hundreds. It's got loads of expansions. The artwork and theme is gorgeous. So rewinding a bit, it was in the hobby store that I was in. I was like, oh, you pick it up and you're there. And you're right there, sir. Yeah, I'm just looking, like picking it up, putting it down, picking it up, putting it down. So I Googled, being the tight ass thrifty. I thought I'll Google it and see how much it is on Amazon. Because sometimes you do find Amazon, a bit like with Hero Quest, you found that super cheap online. I thought, well, just in case it's in a deal somewhere. Went on Amazon and saw there's a collector's edition of the same game. And you know me, the look and the theme of a game sometimes is more important than the game itself.
Does it have a hardback book?
Exactly. So basically the box standard retail version of Everdell has cardboard tokens for like coins, for scoring coins. It has there's a few things you don't get in the expansion because it's got a solo mode as well, which for me, again, because I'm a lot of the days off on my own, I'll learn that game on my own rather than I need to wait for other people. So the collector's edition has meeples for the solo version. So you use these meeples when you're playing the solo version. It has a nicer dice. It has, rather than having cardboard coins, it has metal coins.
Nice.
And I was like, I didn't realise this was around. So I then went on to another website and another gaming store, which is not that near to us. It's about 45 minutes. You probably know where I'm thinking. I don't want to say, but drive. They had the collector's edition in stock.
Right.
So I messaged them. I was like, oh, have you got that? Is that in the store? Could I come pick that? Yeah, I've got it here. I'll put it behind for you. So back in the car I get from where I was, drive nearly an hour to go and pick this board game up, get back about 10 minutes before I'm due to pick up my son from school. So it was a bit of a go, but I got back and so I'm now the proud owner of the collector's edition of Everdell.
Nice.
Just got to learn how to play it now. So that's my plan the next couple of days. I'm going to finish off some stuff fables, learn to play Everdell. Think my wife has got some friends over at the weekend. So I said, well, we'll crack open Everdell, we'll play that.
If you learn it.
Yeah, because the theme is really good. The artwork, the theme of it is very...
Yeah, I've seen a bit of it on Instagram and things. A couple of people like I don't know if like promoting it, but kind of playing it at the very least.
It's it's popular, cool. But getting something we can play.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like it's a pass because there's no models.
no models yet. But you said meeples, and when you said meeples, I thought your next thing was going to be. So technically, I could get miniatures. No. Feed the meeples.
No, this is feeding. I may have been on Etsy looking around, but not for models. For because you have the resources like the berries, the resin, and the twigs. You just put them on the board.
Right.
But on Etsy, you can buy official like little pots they go in, like little harvester pots that you put on the board, but they're like nearly £30. So I'm not paying £30 for like 4 pots.
Yeah, they're
You go on Etsy, you can get them for £12 3D printed versions. So I was like, I'll probably buy them eventually, but I want to learn the game first. I've already gone in on the collector's edition. Let's stop there, see if I even like it. I think I will because the premise of it I think is absolutely brilliant. So I feel like that one's a pass because I don't need to paint anything. It's not adding to the backlog. It's just a good, cool board game that I can crack out with my family or friend. We can play. Whereas it doesn't interrupt like Stuff Fables, painting those models up. So then I can, again, that's another game that I'll play with everyone, but it's a game that's got models that I can paint. Yeah, so that's what kind of has been going on today. I've been out and about all over the place.
Had a bit of a, like you say, pilgrimage.
Yeah, on my own. It was, you let me down. You had to work during the day, didn't you?
Yeah, So yeah, like I should have been there.
Yeah, you should have. Yeah, no, you shouldn't have been there. No. I'd end up spending about double what I did. How much do you reckon it was?
Crikey.
So the normal version,
right,
is from where I was £56.
Right, okay.
That's for the bog standard retail.
Yeah.
I got the collector's one. Like I said, it comes with more meeples, metal coins, extra cards, and solo cards, which you can still play the solo mode in the retail version, but this one comes with some extra solo mode cards. So much.
80 quid?
Not bad. It was 71.
Oh, fine.
So it was
bargain.
what, £15 more? But you can buy the separate meeples and metal coins and all that as an upgrade pack for the base version online for £28.
Oh, so it's cheaper.
So it's cheap. It's cheaper than just to get the collector's edition, and you get a nice like collector's edition box. You know, I'm tart. Because there's another game again that I was interested in called Flamecraft, another very popular game. Little dragons. You have a neoprene mat, which I do love a neoprene mat, and you set up shops.
Yeah. On
this board, and then you move around. You basically enchant these things in the shops, collect resources to get the most points to help the town. Again, very family friendly, light kind of board game. It's probably not as complex as Everdell, but the really sexual version with miniatures and metal coins and extra stuff was locked behind a Kickstarter.
Okay.
And I was like, I missed the Kickstarter. So the retail version comes with meeples, plastic, cardboard coin. I was like, I'm a tar. I'm like, but I'd rather have the nice version.
500 quid on eBay later.
Well, you can. It's 160 quid on eBay.
Right.
I looked. This base game is £36.
Okay.
I went on their website, the official website. You can get the whole bundle, so all the new stuff, metal coin, the deluxe one, for €100.
Right.
Plus shipping, which isn't bad. But I thought I don't want to spend €100 or like £85 on a game that
you don't know
anything about. Even though I've just spent 71 on a game that I do know more about Everdell, and I know I like
it's popular,
it.
So usually stuff's popular for a reason.
Yeah. So there.
Not always.
Not always, but well, I think that's kind of really.
Yeah, I think that's sort of hobby roundup.
So it's not a board game podcast. It is about miniature tabletop war gaming.
Yeah, we'll get there in the end.
But I do find it's adjacent.
Yeah.
And sometimes, from my point of view, I do feel that, again, I don't know if you agree, but a nice, high quality, brilliant component board game is almost as, for me, sometimes is almost as good as I don't know if this is going to be a hot take, but it's going to be is sometimes as good as seeing a nice fully painted army on a table.
Yeah.
What I mean is, if you get a nice, I'm trying to think of a good example of something. Imagine if you had Hero Quest.
Yeah, I think
all
Hero
painted
Quest,
up to a really high standard. Maybe replace some models because some of them are a bit ropey, but you know what I mean? If you had that all done to a really high standard, I think that would be like, wow, this is, it's like a, maybe not as much as two great armies across a battlefield, but what I mean is I almost find like it's that
completeness, isn't it, of having it all done. Whereas, like you say, an army, looking at a 2,000-3,000 points of an army, that is stunning.
Yeah.
But
how often do you see 2,000, 3,000 points of fully painted to a high quality army on two armies fully painted to a high quality? Normally in magazines like GW and that, you don't really see it that often. Whereas I do feel, for me, buying a really nice high quality board game, I'm not talking about Monopoly or Scrabble, I'm talking like it's got miniatures, nice,
do not pass go.
Yeah. Goes directly to jail. High quality artwork and all that. I feel that, like you said, it's like the complete package. It's quite nice to take the lid off and
feels
think,
achievable. This
is all I've got to do. Like Stuffed Fables, I'm loving.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying painting them. I can't wait to get back because I had a kind of a day off today. It's not a job, but I had a day off from doing it today. Tomorrow, I can't wait to get back on with it. Get those other two heroes done, start doing the enemy, get it painted. But yeah. Sorry, I went off a bit of a tangent there. So welcome to the board game podcast. But yeah, no, I think that's kind of it really. Kind of going, Darren, I've got something I've got a public announcement I need to make.
Yeah. It's not very good.
No, before we get into what we want to talk about, I have to make a PSA. So, while you've been away, lots have happened while you've been away. It's only been a week, but so I was at work in the evening, come back, got into bed next to my wife. Evening, you all right? Yeah, I'm all right, yeah. Watching telly for a while. She was like, so I need to talk to you about something. I was like, okay. I was like, proper serious. I was thinking, oh God, what? I listened to your latest podcast. Oh, you feel like your arsehole fall out. Like, oh no. All right. Yeah. What are you on about with Hero Quest? Oh, what do you mean? She was like, I can't remember what she said now, but we had like quite a debate about. I'm not talking like, she was no. I didn't kill you in Hero Quest. Darren opened the doors with the skeletons, not orcs, that killed you. He let 2 skeletons out, and the skeletons killed you. So it wasn't me. So you're going on your podcast telling everyone that I opened the door and 2 orcs killed you. It wasn't me. It was Darren. I was like, and it was getting quite heated. It was like, this is like, from a, like, we're laying in bed and it's getting a bit, I was like, no. I said, yeah, you opened the door. Sorry. Darren opened the door, but why did Darren open the door? You were next to him, like, Darren, go on. Go on, Darren. Just go on. You want to, Darren. She was like, no. I said, look me in the eye. And I was getting quite heated. Look me in the eye and tell me you were not trying to persuade Darren to go around and open every door in the dungeon. And then she just starts laughing. Like exactly. I said, so although you didn't... She was
pulling the strings.
Yeah, you were pulling the strings. You didn't deal the killing blow, but you did. You made sure it happened. I said, so there you go. If you listen to this part, my dear wife, no, you didn't kill me. Darren's skeletons that he let out killed me, but we both know you. Okay, we can move on now.
We can move on.
That's probably not going to be enough. I'm going to be in trouble, so I'll tell you about the next argument we have about it. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's it for Hobby Roundup. I did just want to say that 86% of viewers aren't subscribed.
86%. So what, out of the 20 that's
if you can
20 that view it,
if you can hit that subscribe button, that would be very much appreciated. I guess.
Mr. YouTube now. One of us has got to be, I suppose. I just turn up and do as I'm told, but you're the brains behind the operation.
Yeah, so
which isn't saying much, really.
No.
I couldn't give you that much of a compliment. I had to.
What's 10% of nothing?
Yeah. Don't. I was like, right, come on, next bit. I'm embarrassed myself now.
Right, so let's get into the meat of the episode.
Oh, God. I don't know what that was. Oh, mate.
So, my idea for the episode this week. So, I think it's from our point of view, it's quite an obvious topic. Is miniature painting fun? And we're like, well, yeah.
Yes. Good night.
Fun. Yeah, but I find it's an interesting topic because so much like around the hobby can maybe suggest that it's not fun or can take the fun out of it. So it's a case of what I wanted to do was just reinforce why it's fun and why people love it and why it's an absolutely brilliant hobby to be part of and community. And that is specifically miniature painting, not tabletop gaming.
Not board games, not going back there now.
Yeah.
Well, no, that is miniatures, isn't it? Like I was just saying. But I suppose it's a bit like what I was saying last time, in that at the moment, not at the moment, but there's always that kind of people always want to find the quickest way. How can I get it done? How can I just get these get the speed paints out and get them done? Quickest way to paint an army. Paint an army in 24 hours. People want to know the quickest, shortest route. Where sometimes you want to, like you said, take a step back and go,
yeah, exactly.
Actually, this hobby is brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a case of if the best bit about the hobby is the painting, why are you rushing it? And I don't necessarily think it's rushing it. Like, I think some of the tutorials that I've got planned and that I've done in the past, like, have been centered around like really easy ways to do things. That doesn't necessarily mean they're quick. I think that lowering like the skill level is important because it makes it more accessible.
Want it beginner friendly.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily, I don't think it's a good thing to say to someone who's a really good painter, here's a way you can do it really quickly, because a lot of the times when, in terms of like just taking the question at face value, there's definitely times when I've been painting and it's not fun. But I think I always think of like Dark Souls. If you said to me like, "Is playing Dark Souls fun?" I'd be like, "Not really."
No, it's
but that
stressful.
feeling when you kill a boss, that amount of satisfaction you
Yeah.
get, it's almost like the fun. It's like delayed fun.
Yeah. When I get this done.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's quite a good segue into my first point I was going to bring up and see if you agree, which I think is something I've said before in the past. But when I play a video game, for instance, I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 at the moment. Baldur's Gate 3, and also downloaded Power World as well on the Game Pass.
Right.
Yeah, that Pokemon rip-off game. It's actually quite good.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the difference with like Baldur's Gate
Yeah.
is I'll play it for like 4 or 5 hours. Enjoy when I'm playing it because
Yeah.
it's that kind of like instant, you know, oh yeah, this is great. But then when I walk away from it, even with Baldur's Gate, which is a really in-depth, brilliant game, I do walk away from it and kind of go, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like,
What now? Yeah.
well, that's
what have
that
I
then.
got?
Yeah, I've turned the Xbox off
Mhm.
or whatever you're playing it on, and it's done.
Other consoles
are
are available.
available, yeah. Yeah, so whereas with painting, you know, for instance, like the Stuff Fable stuff again, when I finish one of those, I look at it and go, oh my God.
Yeah.
I paint, look at it.
Yeah, that's done. That's going in my cabinet. I can look at that every day, and I've got something that reminds me of the fun I've had, but also the continued enjoyment of seeing it in the cabinet, or if it's a gaming piece, playing with it.
Wow, well, you summed that up better than I ever could. So yeah, what he said.
But yeah, so I thought that we'd sort of kind of go through the reasons really. So I've got a bit of a just a few reasons why miniature painting is fun. Not that I need to convince you guys, but
well, you might need to some people, because I know some people that are the other end.
Yeah,
they can't stand it. They just want to get it done, get it on the table because they like the playing side of it,
and that's fair. Because I think, you know, if it was a case of like, is the hobby fun? For some people, it would be yes, because I love the gaming. I love the social aspect of it, the social side of it. But yeah, this is sort of like specifically miniature painting and why we think it's fun and why we think it might not be fun for some people. But I think, like, personally, the hobby has, you know, as a hobby, there's so much progression in miniature painting that you've got from the absolute base level of getting into it. I think it's a relatively easy hobby to get into, and the tools that are out there at the moment for beginner miniature painters, things like speed paints, and like the accessibility of things like cheap lamps and other things like that. I think make it a relatively easy hobby to get into, but it's like easy to get into, but almost like impossible to master. You know, it's, when I say master, I mean, you know, Golden Demon level, but there's a huge scope of where most people are, and then like the kind of expert level. So you've always got something to kind of aim towards, you know, something to improve on.
It's like you said, like with the scale of where people are, I would say that even now, as long as I've been doing it, I wouldn't even say I'm in the scale. I would say I'm probably just middle, maybe a bit above, tiny, like one notch up from middle. I'm not.
I think it's that weird thing. Like, got someone that I know plays League of Legends, like not professionally, but they're very good at it in the top 100, and they were saying about the difference between like being in the top 100 and being in the top 10 is like colossal. And I think it's
almost the same.
Kind of the same. Yeah.
Because you think, you know, your top painters in the world now, and it's just like, wow. You look at what they can do, and you just think, what? How's that even? That doesn't even look like a model. It looks like a painting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I can't even.
But what I quite like about the hobby is that models, like the model designs, are so good, can be so good that you don't have to be an incredible painter for it to look good, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I could look at a model that either of us have painted and, you know, oh, that is absolutely amazing. And still appreciate something that Richard Graves painted, for example.
Yeah.
Not maybe on the same level, but that's still brilliant, if you see what I mean. Like, that's not like, oh, yeah, that's nothing compared to, you know, so-and-so.
Yeah.
You can still appreciate it at every level. And even if someone's just done like base colour, wash, highlight, stuck it on the tabletop, and they've got 2,000 points.
Oh God, yes.
That looks fantastic.
Excuse me. Sometimes it looks like, again, my friend who paints his armies like he paints it supernaturally quick, but he doesn't do much more than that. He'll do base colour, wash, highlight, by his own admission, not the best painted thing in the world, but when he puts his army on the table, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
So like you said, you can appreciate the time and effort that's gone into it, even if you haven't gone to your, Golden Demon levels. But I do think, going back a bit to what you said about like nowadays it's so easy, I think, again, I feel like our roles have switched today, but GW helped with that massively, because you can walk into any hobby shop that stocks any kind of model kits, and there's probably going to be some kind of racking in the corner of GWs, their point of sale, where they're going to have a few of their basic paints and box sets. It's like, what's this? Oh, and you grab your first box of Space Marines. They've got you then, haven't they?
Yeah.
You've got to have deep pockets, but it's that kind of accessibility.
It's that hook. They've got it's a really popular hobby, and so when it's a popular hobby and people absolutely love doing it, the one thing that you need to concentrate on, almost the only thing you need to concentrate on, is getting people into it. Because you know how addictive it is.
Yeah, well, again, it's that thing that once you do get into it, and GW, for you ask anyone who's like been in the hobby for a long time, you get a few that have stuck around Games Workshop forever, but they'll get into it through Games Workshop. A few years after, they'll start saying, "Oh, what's this? Bolt Action? Oh, what's this game I've heard of? I can't think of it.
Star Wars Legion.
Star Wars Legion, and they'll start like we do. They start branching out. Next thing you'll know all these different manufacturers. There's so many models available, so many manufacturers and models, and to suit any kind of taste that you like. Like I said, again, bit of a board game parallel thing going on tonight, but even nowadays board games are starting to catch up, not to GW levels, I'm not saying that, but they're printing and casting some really high quality models. So like, again, the Stuff Fabled models, they're brilliant models. You've got your zombie sides, you've got your there's that Oathsworn game that's come out. The models in that look absolutely brilliant. There's lots of good games that are out now, board games that come out with models now. So it's almost like, you don't even need to do tabletop wargaming to appreciate miniature painting. You could get into it through the board game route, and then hang on, branch out the other way. So it's so, like you said, there's so much.
And even if you do, go down the GW route, you could do something like Underworlds. Yeah. So you've got like 4 models, and you're in.
Yeah. They've got you.
They've got you. Yeah.
Got you by the balls.
But yeah, sort of another thing which I kind of touched on with the Dark Souls analogy, but like the sense of achievement that you get when you finish a model, I think is a big plus in terms of like, is it fun? Whether it's fun at the time or delayed fun, depending on, and I think you kind of touched on it earlier with. You were saying you were having loads of fun painting Stuff Fables. You're getting the fun throughout the whole process. Whereas I'd say with something like GW, maybe the fun, and I know I've heard people talk about it on podcasts before, but the fun kind of is delayed until like the last maybe 10%.
Yeah.
It's really fun painting like the last details on something like Lady Islander. Yeah. But it's not fun painting the first 90%. No.
And every model, and I can't remember where I heard it, but it's true. Every model has an ugly phase. Yeah, they do.
That's interesting.
Every time you look at and I'll get halfway through anything, I'm like, oh, this looks rubbish. The blends aren't good. The model, I don't like the colour. Oh,
I've had some models where I've had 100% ugly phase.
Let's not talk about Stormcast just yet.
We'll come on to that.
Yeah. But you kind of have to push through that phase.
Yeah.
Just keep going with it. Keep at it. And eventually, like you said, the last kind of like the finish lines in sight, and you're like, oh my God, this looks great. But every model does have that phase. You're like, no,
It's almost like an area in a game where you're like, oh, I can't wait to get through this area.
Blight Town. Oh
Yeah.
God, get me through Blight Town.
Yeah, it's the bad ones themselves.
Yeah, that is definitely something I think you do have to push through.
Yeah.
That kind of phase. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else really.
I think like so like if you're into gaming, so you play 40k or you're into another game, I think that if you're into them but you're not a painter, then painting the models really helps you connect even more with the game.
Yeah, especially if you put your own color scheme in, you do a bit of background for your story. You know, say you're painting Space Marines. Why are your Space Marines, you know, red? Oh, they're not Blood Angels. They're a successor chapter, and this is what happened. And you can make your own lore in your head, like you said. And you connect with them a bit more.
Definitely.
Not in our case because I can't stand Space Marines, but yeah, you know what I mean. That kind of thing. I actually don't mind Space Marines. They're not as bad as Tau, for instance.
Yeah, but it's a bad comparison.
Yeah, I think it's a few people I've heard recently been going how much they like Tau on podcasts and YouTube videos, and I'm a bit like, ooh.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those things where some people like to like the thing that everyone else hates.
Maybe that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
maybe I'm
You're
hating
end up with a Tau army by the end of the year.
Saying a slight sidetrack. Have you seen the new Kroot they've released or announced? I do have a soft spot for Kroot, but they're not Tau. They're not silly mech robots, are they? They're like they look quite cool. If they become a full-fledged army on their own, I could be made to look like a complete dickhead. Sorry, just slight tangent there.
So yeah, I think it definitely helps like your immersion. I think I know we've talked before about the importance of having like your army fully painted. Not saying you have to have your army fully painted, but it gives you another level of enjoyment in the hobby.
I do feel like it's something that I've eased up on as the years have gone by. When I first started the hobby, I used to put a lot of pressure on myself that I would not paint or play with a model. Sorry, paint or play? Would not play or even use a model until it was fully painted. Like, no, I can't use that unit because I haven't painted all 40 Dark Elf Spearmen or whatever. And you're just like, oh, and then in the end you never use it because you can't get the enthusiasm to, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I do think as well something we don't do enough, which is something we should do more. And I'm talking about personally. I'm not talking about everyone in the community. I mean, you and me. We should paint together more because you do it with people. It's kind of another part of the hobby you can enjoy, like painting miniatures together.
I think that definitely feeds into the making it more fun.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the case probably with quite a few hobbies, but yeah, with a hobby that's predominantly like solo, it does. Yeah, you can add an element. That said, some people love the fact that it's a solo hobby. I know,
I do.
Yeah, we do mostly.
Bit of an introvert. I quite enjoy the fact that I can just sit. I've got a cold. I'm going with that. Sit in a room, headphones on.
Yeah.
Listen to a podcast or something like that, and just kind of lose myself in painting for a few hours and not have to think about the outside world for a little while. But then that said, I do enjoy it when you have friends around because you can sit and chat while you're painting. I do like both of sides of it, but I do enjoy the solo part of it. I know some people might not. I know there's a few people that, my wife, she's quite a social animal. She says to me, how can you sit in there all day and just paint? What have you been up to today when she gets back from work? Oh, I've painted, 2 Stuff Fables models. Anything else? Well, no, I've done the housework. I've tidied the house and,
cleaned the airbrush. Yeah,
I cleaned my airbrush. My airbrush fell apart while you were away as well. You should not go away.
Yeah, no, you let me down.
Crashed a van. My airbrush fell apart. I got ill. Hero Quest argument. So, you shouldn't have gone away. Managed to put it back together though. I cleaned it all off, so I left it in some water to start. I saw something online about leaving it in water. It keeps it, keeps it lubricated and stops any paint from clogging it. Yeah. Picked it up, and the I don't know what the technical term is.
Trigger.
That's the word. Fucking hell. The trigger fell out.
Got to blame your illness again.
Yeah, I was so cold. Oh, I'm forgetting words. The trigger fell out the top. Then I was like, oh no, so I unscrewed the back to try and pull the pin out, the needle out, so I could get to the. Then another bit, it fell to bits. Admittedly, it's quite a cheap airbrush. It's one that comes with the compressor, but I thought, like we said before, it's just something to start with.
Fell fast.
Yeah, but I managed to put it back together. It's fine now, but I do feel like that's probably going to be a purchase.
Yeah, but it's good. Yeah, but you've done exactly what you wanted to do. You know, you've proved that. You've cut your teeth, is it?
Yeah, cut your teeth on it. Yeah, cut your teeth on that airbrush. And it's maybe when we go to Salute, I think it might be a treat, a new airbrush, not a £300 Steinbeck.
Paint,
no, just maybe the next step up from a free one.
Yeah,
that's another part of the hobby that is fun. I think, using all the new tools, getting I've tried these new paints, I've got these this new technique. Pushing yourself and learning new things is another fun part of the hobby. I think anyway. For the miniature painting hobby.
I don't think it necessarily. We've got said about techniques that are like easy way to paint leather, easy way to paint this, but apart from that, I wouldn't say it's ever easy. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's as easy as you want it to be.
Yeah.
So if it's not because as soon as something becomes really easy, you then get bored of it. So. And I don't. If you're getting bored of it, it's probably either because you're not setting your standard high enough, or, which is another reason why I guess people might not find miniature painting fun, is you're painting the same thing, or you've got like a meticulous. You've got 40 clan rats or something. Like, I'd love someone to comment and say that they find painting 40 clan rats fun.
Oh, you will. 100% someone would.
That would make my year.
Someone out there would definitely say, oh, I love painting massive blobs of infantry. Guarantee it. I want to throw my head through a window, but some people, they love it. So I'll guarantee you someone will say that.
Yeah, although I suppose that's kind of, in terms of that, switching off.
Yeah, and just batch painting around,
but it does require a certain. I suppose that's more likely to be someone that already loves miniature painting. That's not someone that's like
getting into it.
Oh, I don't really like miniature painting, but what I do love is painting 40 clan rats.
I can't stand painting, but if you put 100 clan rats in front of me, I am
smash them out
like a pig in, that kind of. But no, I that's kind of what I prefer in the moment. I am enjoying like the smaller things at the moment, like the war cries, the skirmish games, the board games at the moment, because I say he's got 40 something models in this stuff, Fables, but they're not really that hard to paint.
Yeah.
So that's right. But so you saying that we're going on, what would you say would be the reasons for people not to enjoy, being the pessimistic one? What would you say?
Yeah, I think
parts of the hobby that people might not find fun.
Yeah, I think that it can be. I know I said it's very easy to get into, but I think if you haven't got a lot of patience, it can probably be quite a frustrating hobby to start, because you're not going to be good. I guess it's the same with any hobby, but you won't be good straight away.
Yeah.
Although that said, things like speed paints or Known Oil, they make you look pretty good quite quickly. They're definitely beginner's friend.
It's definitely, it's compared to when I started, and I didn't even start like years and years ago. When I started, it was the old GW Citadel paints with the black lid.
Yeah.
That you clipped open. There was inks, chestnut ink, I think one of them, but there was no, washes and like contrast paints, and there was none of that. So, but I do, and the repetition for me, even now, I find repetition a bit. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I lose interest.
Well, you don't find it fun.
No, I find it.
That's the thing, isn't it? So it's not a case of like, why don't you want to do miniature painting? It's is miniature painting fun?
Yeah.
And for us, no, not when we're
Wait,
painting,
what?
not when we're painting 40 clan rats.
No.
You know, so it's but obviously on the whole, yes, it is.
Oh, yeah,
for all the other reasons we've said.
I love the painting, but no, that's the perfect way to look at it. Yeah, that's why, as much as I would love the idea, I just can't really bring myself to paint a 40k or Age of Sigmar like full army anymore.
Yeah,
got the combat patrol for Eldar, which is still on the drawing board, but I kind of almost don't really want to go further because I know that it's going to be, 20 more Guardians. Oh, and then you've got to paint, 10 of them, 10 of them, 20 of them, 10 of them, 4 of them. Oh, I just don't want to because I know already that I'll lose interest and it won't get done, and then it'll be on eBay.
I think it's that. It's that repetition thing, and also one point is painting stuff you're not really interested in, and I suppose that kind of crosses over with what we've just said. It's not interested in painting 40 clan rats, but there are certain things where it's not
poor old clan.
I love Skaven.
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely shit on them.
The fucking clan rats.
Every episode, but maybe we should use like Imperial Guard.
Or no, you love Imperial Guard.
Yeah, I know.
Tau?
But
painting 40 Pathfinders. Oh, Pathfinders, is that right? My 40k. I think it's right.
Sounds right.
Yeah, you don't know, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire Warriors?
Fire Warriors, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh dear, my voice.
So maybe another I don't know if it's necessarily a reason why people find it less fun, but it does require it's a hobby that requires investment of some sort.
Yeah, but then what hobby doesn't? What proper, I get, but...
Yeah, but for something like bowling, for example...
Yeah, that just takes a bowling ball and some gloves.
Cinema. Do you know what
cinema?
I mean?
Is that a hobby? Yeah, I own a cinema.
I'm really good at cinema.
I've been cinema-ing for years. Hang on. I love cinema. Maybe that's my hobby. What's your hobbies? Oh, cinema.
Yeah, fine.
Is it a hobby?
No.
I
think we've squashed that. Yeah,
cut that bit out.
Yeah.
I do think as well that we were saying that we quite like it being a solo hobby.
Yeah.
Because we're a bit introverted and weird, but you kind of probably get people that are, like we said before, the other way, that actually hate the fact that they're stuck in a room with their own painting models. They want to be on the table, talking to people, rolling dice, having a laugh, and me saying it like that makes me want to do it. It sounds great.
But their other hobbies will be like sports and things that outdoor stuff.
Sports,
cinema,
out the cinema.
all the other hobbies. See, I think the thing is that this has highlighted is we don't actually know any other hobbies.
No. Cinema.
This is the only one that exists.
Touching grass, is that a hobby?
That's not grass.
No. Stop touching it then.
Doesn't make sense.
Too late. It doesn't need to make sense.
True.
Oh dear, this is all going very downhill rapidly.
Yeah. So I think one thing that I find brings me a lot of fun. It's not I suppose it is related to painting, but if you're a creative person, obviously you can box art. You can paint as to the box art.
Yeah.
But there's massive amounts of customization you can do.
Yeah.
So it's in terms of like really letting your kind of like creative flair out, you can like customize a model, you can do a different colour scheme. I know most people kind of go with
convert it, you mean?
Convert it, that's what I was,
I know some people that is their hobby. They just love converting and building. You ever seen Pete the Wargamer on YouTube? Oh my god, things he can do with the models are absolutely amazing.
I think it's probably quite a dangerous, bit like terrain making.
Yes.
I think it's quite a dangerous thing to get into because I can imagine it's so addictive and probably quite costly because you're breaking different parts of quite expensive model sets to then make something that you probably couldn't resell. But do you know what I mean? That is the hobby.
Have you seen Pete the Wargamer as well on the painting phase?
Not in Pain's Face.
He's got like the voice of a 40-year-old man and
Did you hear
the face of a 15-year-old boy. Honestly, it's weird. A lovely guy, and he's absolutely amazing in what he does. But you should see, yeah. Don't put that in a reel.
Have you heard Painting Phase news?
No, Peach has left.
Peach has left, yeah.
I thought he had.
Yeah.
Because I watched the last one. They did one together. Then they had a few videos.
Yeah.
And then they did their last one together. When was that announced?
Today, I think.
Oh, why's he left?
To like do his own stuff.
Oh, so that means that's a shame. Because I bet they're.
But I think he's starting a channel called Peach's Tips. This is brilliant.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Fine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sorry, Pat and Jeff. That's worth it. I think.
That's worth it.
Just for that name. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I wondered if he was leaving, because I thought the last two they've done on their own. There was one they did with a guest, but one before that and one their most recent podcast, it was just Jeff and Pat, and I was a bit like, that's weird. I wonder if he's. Well, that's that's throwing me off.
Live reaction.
Yeah, live reaction.
Well, not live, but you know.
Well, yeah, live to us right now.
Yeah.
Cinema. I don't
know. Yeah, so I think that's kind of covers
half an hour
really.
of rambling.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really,
but also, I think like one of my other points was just that, and I know you touched on it earlier with like, you know, Warhammer being like a gateway drug into the hobby, but there's so many models available that you can literally paint whatever you want. You know, you can. I don't like 15 years ago. You couldn't have like, I'll paint Luke Skywalker, or maybe I don't know.
No,
25 years ago, but,
probably not.
But yeah, you know, you can. You think of it, it will be on Etsy. You can buy and paint it.
There's very few things you can that you can not paint.
So,
now.
For example, you don't even need to be in that kind of tabletop gaming space.
No, you could
just say
a miniature painter.
Yeah. You know,
definitely.
My dad could be like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting into miniature painting. I found a little model of Winston Churchill on Etsy, and I'm gonna fine.
Yeah,
don't need to play it in a game, or you can put like.
Well, it's like people that do busts for display paint. You know, they never use them in a game or anything. Like me and my little board game kit at the moment. You know, that's not a miniature tabletop game. It's a board game piece, but I'm still in the painting hobby. I'm still doing what I do on a
and obviously if you're set up for painting armies and things, you're gonna it's gonna be a lot easier for you to pick anything up then. So
but if that made any sense to you, thanks for listening to that babbling. If not, then
if it's made you want to quit the hobby, just comment below. I would subscribe.
Fine. I would take up, if I was you, I'd take up cinema.
Yes.
That's the hobby you want.
That's
cinema.
The one. If that's the one takeaway you get,
cinema.
Cinema is the next thing you need to do.
You watch. That's the hot hobby for 2024. Cinema.
Right. So we got 2 new sections this time.
2 new sections. You know, Darren's been busy while he's been away for a week.
Keep you guys entertained. But too many ideas floating around in my head.
Bored.
So the next section is called Sprue or False.
Hey, you need a little jingle.
Sprue or False.
Yeah, comes up on the screen. That'd be cool. Get on it. Like you don't do enough. Get on that as well.
Fine. Yeah, if you can animate and then explode.
Yeah, and then just like a recorder. Go to a professional like studio. Record a jingle with a band. Come on, pull your weight around here, Darren.
Yeah, do something.
I'll do a peachy and leave you. You don't. I don't need this and start on my own.
You can't go with that, can you?
No, I can't. I'm shocked. I'm just in the little gap we had there, I was just on their YouTube channel looking up about it. I can't believe he's left. I had an inkling because he hadn't been on, but sorry, derailing your new segment. Go on, Darren, carry on.
So, Sprue or False?
Sprue or False? Yeah, what?
So, the point of it is I will throw a common comment that might be floated around the hobby space, and
you want
I want your Sprue or False opinion. So you're going to tell me whether it's Sprue or False.
So Sprue is true. Just
So
explaining.
Sprue is false. False is true.
Fine, hang on. Oh God. So I'm going to make myself like a complete prat here and say the wrong thing, aren't I?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, hit me. Not literally.
There's no such thing as the wrong thing.
Cinema.
No, it'll be a point of discussion. So, first one.
Okay.
Okay. Homemade wet palette is as good as a shop bought one. Sprue or false?
Oh, I feel like I'm going to piss people off whoever I say. I'm going to say false, I think. Oh, I don't know though. Kind of Sprue. I'm going to probably say false.
Yeah.
I think buying... It hasn't got to be an expensive one, but buying one that's got the proper hydration mats made for it. You know, the proper... Oh my God, my brain's gone. You've thrown me off with your questions. The peachy thing, it's just thrown me off. The sheets you put on top, what are they called?
Yeah,
you can't remember either. You got the hydration.
I was thinking of baking paper.
Yeah, but that's for a homemade one. You know, the proper stuff. It's designed for what it's for. It gets a proper lid, so you can. That's a tough one because homemade ones. There's nothing wrong with them. I use a homemade one for a long time, but since I've had I'm going to say false.
Yeah. Because
since I've had a proper one, I haven't looked back. No. I wouldn't want to have a homemade.
No, and I would say, especially for someone who's got less time, I find that a pre-made one is just easier for me.
Yeah, it's the convenience.
And I know loads of incredible painters that use a homemade one. So it's not saying that it's the best thing, but for me,
yeah, I'd agree.
I prefer a shop bought one.
Yeah, false. And again, we're going to get a lot of pushback on that, I think. You don't know what you're talking about, which is a fair comment, to be fair.
Yeah, we
don't know what we're talking about.
Get a lot of true comments.
Yeah, that is Sprue.
Right, next one.
Yeah.
Magnifying goggles are cheating.
What?
Sprue or false?
That's false. No. Any hobby equipment that makes your life easier or aids your painting is not cheating. No way. Definitely. That's speed paints, that's anything like that. Anything that gets you painting or helps you paint isn't cheating. So no, that's false. Or if you've got awful sight. I mean, I wear glasses all the time. Like, for me, that's, sometimes having the goggles helps.
No, you're cheating.
Yeah, oh yeah. You make me die now. Oh dear. No. False.
Two false.
Two false. Yeah, that is. Yeah. How many have you got? We'll be here for the next hour. Oh God, Darren, please stop.
I'll do one more, okay?
One more, okay.
So, contrast paints are for beginners. Sprue or false?
I'm going to say false again. Because I think they are GW, not just GW, but originally GW build them as paint your models super quick, slap this on, done. But I find they have a lot of applications apart from that. I use mine a lot. I thin them and use them for like, a deep glaze or a heavy glaze. I use them sometimes as like a makeshift shade paint. I just use it to glaze over something, or mix them, thin them to do other things with them, or mix them in with a bit of other colours.
Over metals and stuff. That.
No, I don't. No, I don't think they are.
Three false in a row.
Three false. Yeah, come on. You need some that I think are Sprue. No, I think no. Three false. I think The only one I'm a bit about is the wet palette one. So that's a bit of a on the fence. But no, I would say false.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. Well, that's it for Sprue or false.
I like that. Good little segment.
Time.
Remember the little jingle?
With the exploding jingle.
Sprue or false. Hang on, that's a brilliant idea. Get on that.
The camera lens just sort of starts cracking and shatters.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So, it's that time. It's paint, grey, eBay.
Whee! Got another jingle lined up. Yeah, eBay. You can tell you've been away this week as well because Darren's taken control of this one. He's decided this one as well. I think obviously you've had the time on that plane. You've had time to think. Yeah, so hit me, Darren. Hit me.
So we're doing a Star Wars Legion themed paint grey eBay.
Okay.
I thought we'd have a Jedi theme.
Jedi/Sith or just all Jedi?
Jedi/Sith.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
lightsaber theme.
My boy's got to be in there.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So it is Luke Skywalker.
Which one?
It is the operative Luke.
Oh.
No.
No, it is, yeah. He's an operative in the game.
Yes.
You mean badass Jedi Luke?
I mean, I mean black Yeah, Black
balls
Robe.
deep, fully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fully trained.
Fully trained. That's the word. Trained. I was thinking fully. Couldn't think of the word.
So fully trained Jedi Luke.
Yep. Which is an operative in the game.
Yeah. Which is an operative in the game.
Yeah.
Operative Darth Vader.
So not fully powered Vader.
Not fully powered Vader, but he's got a badass.
Yeah, he's got a much better pose.
Looks like he's just about to slap someone with his lightsaber.
Yeah. Backhand him with his lightsaber.
Yeah, he's sort of got that like, you what?
Yeah, you fucking come on in.
And Obi-Wan.
Corset Obi-Wan. Well, there's only one Obi-Wan skull with the classic pose.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
sort of the snooker cue.
Yeah, but I love that. That is quite a cool pose. I do like that pose. Okay, so see, this is the problem. I feel like my boy's in trouble because generally I wouldn't say a lot of the official. Now, bit of a disclaimer: if this was down to me personally, maybe apart from Obi-Wan, they'd all be 3D printed because I think you can get some nicer 3D printed.
Well, you've got some nicer 3D printed models, haven't you?
So I think for me, just off the bat, I would paint. I say off the bat, but I do quite like Luke. I do think the operative Jedi Luke's quite good, quite a nice pose. He's got that kind of you're in trouble look as well.
I do think that out of Obi-Wan and Luke's model, Luke looks more like Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
I think that the face of that sculpt is good. Not that I'm trying to sway your decision.
No, it is a good sculpt.
Yeah.
It's one of their later ones, I think. That's why. Before AMG got the game. I think FFG were doing it. That said, I'm going to paint Obi-Wan because I like that pose. The pose is really good.
And you've not painted it.
I've not painted it, and I also feel the lightsaber is a bit floppy, the one we got from the core set, but that's repairable. That
can be sorted out.
That can be. I can
We can sort out a flaccid lightsaber.
Yes, I'm going to paint Obi-Wan on that note, on that bombshell. Sorry, Vader. I love you, but I'm going to have to leave grey Luke, and I really feel like FFG dropped the ball on Vader's poses. I think his corset chokey pose is a bit crap.
Chokey pose.
No, he's like choking.
Yeah.
And that one where he's going to backhand someone with his lightsaber. It's better, but
you've got some really good.
Yeah, I think you can buy much better 3D printed versions of Vader on Etsy or eBay.
I think that's the second time you've eBayed Vader.
When was the other time?
The Beetle one.
I don't want to talk about that. That doesn't count. Stupid pose. Yeah, so I'm eBaying Vader. I'm going to paint Obi-Wan and I'm going to leave grey Luke, Jedi Luke. So, your turn, Mr. Darren?
I will...
I think I could guess yours.
Yeah. It's difficult though for me because you've painted Luke and Vader.
I've painted so many Vaders.
So it kind of makes sense for you to paint Obi-Wan. I know you're talking objectively as if you hadn't painted any of them, but I would normally eBay Vader.
Really? Okay. I would have said you eBay. For you would have been you'll paint Luke, leave grey Obi-Wan, and you'd eBay Vader. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
But okay. That's what you would have said. I thought.
Well, I would have eBayed Vader.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's quite fun to paint. As in black with a red OSL.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a blue black as well.
Yeah. I feel like my opinion's a bit jaded, like you said, because I've painted about 5 Darth Vaders now. So
I would. It is difficult though. 3 good models. I think trouble is it doesn't really make sense to paint Vader and leave grey Luke because they're both black. It's a bit boring. So I would.
You've never painted Luke either.
No.
Sorry, I don't know. You just said that.
In fact, I'm going to completely go back on what I've said.
Okay.
And I'm going to fall in exactly as you predicted.
Brilliant.
I'm going to paint Luke Skywalker. I'm going to leave grey Obi-Wan. And sorry, Vader.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to paint your red lightsaber.
Hang on, that's not a lightsaber. We did that joke before.
But it is red.
Cinema.
So yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
That's it. Quite a short one, but yeah, it's a bit of a Legion theme for all you Legion fans out there.
All 4 of you that listen.
Yeah. So on to our last section, which is another new section, which is just getting some listeners' comments, listeners' questions.
Listening questions.
Listeners' questions. So
you need another thing.
Listeners' questions.
Questions.
Sort of like a dulcet.
Yeah.
Just turn the volume down for this section.
Listeners' question. We got some good ones here actually this week, so we picked out a few, and I've got them up here. So the first one is from JLee820, and his question is: was there any projects that almost made you quit the hobby? I'll let you go first, Aaron. This is a tough one. I had to really think about this one. But... Yeah,
this is a tough one. I can think of loads of projects that made me quit that project.
Oh,
as in
how long have you got? I've got loads of those. Yeah.
The Stormcast one, but not enough to put me off the hobby, but probably put me off painting NMM gold for a little while.
I know you were annoyed with them. I know you were like, just want to get these good models done.
But I would say I painted. If you guys have listened to previous podcasts, you'll know about my Hobbit Escape from Goblin Town set that I painted, or sprayed really badly, bought again, painted,
put on the radiator to dry with car primer on.
Yeah. So I guess finishing that complete box, it was like a good project. It was kind of that delayed fun thing, but I feel like I needed a break for a little while. Like I did 36 goblins, and I don't really do goblins, you know. And it was just a bit. I was kind of doing that because I got bought it as a gift. I'd messed up the first one because I sprayed it wrong. I bought it again. Do you know what I mean? It was a slog. Not necessarily made me want to give the hobby up, but I certainly gave it up for a little while after that.
Yeah, for me, I had to kind of dig right back. So I've been doing it for a lot longer, but to be honest, it was right at the beginning of the hobby. I nearly didn't even carry on with the hobby. So when I first introduced to it years ago and doing a Dark Elf fantasy army for Warhammer Fantasy Battles, being like 15, 16, getting into the hobby. And I started the Dark Elf army, and I don't know, I got a few units in, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me. I nearly quit the hobby because of that. I don't think I want to do this anymore. So it sat on the shelf for a long time, and then girls come along and the usual stuff that most people do.
Wrecking ball.
Yeah, pretty much. But I stuck with it, and obviously I stuck with it. But that was probably the closest I got to quitting the hobby, I think.
And what was it you didn't like? You just
a bit like we were saying earlier, the slog of painting 20 Spearmen, and not having anywhere to really paint because I'm living at your mum and dad's house, and no one in the house really, gave a toss about the hobby I was doing. So it was a bit like, didn't really have the time, didn't really have the money to invest in the hobby properly. All the things we were saying about earlier that you might put you off were kind of there, and it was almost at that point where I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't fun. It was hard to do. It was kind of, it felt hard to do the hobby, but soldiered on.
You soldiered on here, and the rest is history. I guess.
The rest is a massive money.
The rest is on eBay.
Should have taken up cinema in. That's what I should have done. I'm not going to let you forget that.
The comeback for anything.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Jay Lee, for that one. So the next one is from The Joy of Painting, and obviously with his name, I can see the clue in the question. But best orc clan. So for me, it's got to be the Goths. I know it's a bit boring, but I like the Goths because they, big chopper, and Gazgul Thraka is basically from the Goths. So, and I love that model. I love that character. I love everything about him. Again, we're not massively into. I like the lore of 40k, but I don't know it massively well. But probably the Goths I like, or the what's the ones that go faster? They always have red. Oh, what are they called? See, I'm showing my lack of knowledge with them. But no, probably the Goths. And Darren, I know you're going to enjoy answering this one.
Yeah, so I don't really know many orc clans, and this will be just a horrible realization for that comment. But yeah, I do. I've seen quite a few Bad Moon clan.
Yeah, that is one. That is a clan,
and they look cool.
Yeah, there you go. Go with that then. Just say that one.
Yeah.
So there you go. Goths and Bad Moons. So yeah. Thank you to Joy of painting. Next one, Warhammer _artist 23. What army would you love to paint but hate to play? So you can go first, Aaron. So love to enjoy painting them, but we really want to get them on the table. I know mine already because I have gone through this whole process.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Tumbleweed.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
Well, I'll tell you what. While you think, I'll bore them with mine.
You go, yeah.
So basically, mine is the Sons of. I always get this wrong. Sons of Behemoth, the Mega Gargants, the giant army for destruction for Age of Sigmar. I absolutely loved painting that army. I had 2 Mega Gargants. Was it 5 or 6 Man Crusher Gargants, the smaller ones? 2,000 point army. Absolutely loved every minute of painting them. They're brilliant models. I converted the Man Crushers. Some were like picking up boulders and throwing them. Others were like kicking people over. I absolutely loved the army. Got it to the table. It was so for me anyway. Again, I'm not the best player of Age of Sigmar. I'm not saying that I know all the rules in some. Probably people out there going, "Oh, you must have been playing them wrong." But for me, they were so one-dimensional and boring to play. Yeah, you've got 2 or 3 unit 4 at the time, 4 unit profiles in your book. You know, you had hardly any options. You had a few different things you could do, but in general, it was so boring to play. And my few opponents I played, they didn't enjoy playing me.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I just run forward and squash everything.
One tactic.
Tactic. We know what you're going to do. One of my opponents had Stormcast a lot, and at the time, he was like, I've got nothing to counter your army. So I'm just going to get face rolled every time. So I just, so he wasn't having fun. And because of that, I wasn't really having fun. So in hindsight, I'm a bit annoyed I got rid of them. I wish I'd kept the army. That's something I should really stop doing. But I loved painting, building and collecting the army, but I didn't really like playing them. So there you go, Sons of Behemoth. That's mine because I literally have experienced that. So has that given you time to think of anything, Darren?
Not really, no. But I sort of want to turn the question on its head, which
no, the question is
Well, I don't know. For me, I think an army. So if I had to give an answer, it probably would be a similar answer. So my ogres, for example, I know that their playstyle is very
another destruction army,
one-dimensional. And I've got the army, and I definitely enjoyed painting it. But yeah, just as like a caveat to that, I think Tau would be quite a fun army to play, but it's not an army I want to paint. So as a turn it on its head, that's and when I say fun, I mean
blow them apart in round 1 with the sheet.
Yeah, like that sounds fun, I guess.
No one else would have much fun playing.
No,
but okay. Well, thank you, Warhammer artists.
The same as well, like with orcs. Like I don't particularly want to play orcs, but I know they're really fun to play.
That's a good one, actually. Yeah, for you, I'd at least think so. Look, they'd be good to paint, but would you really want to play with the orcs? Is it your thing?
Maybe I would want to paint them and play them.
So basically, Darren doesn't know. Yeah. So, well, I answered it anyway. Thank you, Warhammer _artist, for that. Oh no, Mark, above average minis. Hello, Mark. He's given us a couple of bangers, especially the last one. I love it. But he's put, what do you listen to / watch while hobbying? Do you even listen / watch anything? Would you like to go first?
Yeah, I can answer this one.
You can answer this. That's why I thought you could go first, so you can redeem your pitiful answer from the last question.
I like listening to Paint Perspective, which is another
Mm-hmm.
podcast, miniature painting podcast, run by the guys at Siege Studios, which is a really good podcast. Definitely got into that in sort of back end of last year. We both did.
Well, you kind of showed me, listen to this, so now I've subscribed. I listen to it as well.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think it's good to hear from like they're like a very high quality commissioned studio.
Yes.
So where else can you get the insight from the people who are you see what I mean, like high level commission painting on a regular basis. So I find that good.
Black bass rims is the right way, by the way. Anyone who listens to Paint Perspective will know what I'm on about. Black bass rims.
Team black bass rims.
Yeah, definitely.
And refreshers are an S tier suite.
I don't know about that one.
Sprue or false?
False.
And just like audiobook. Something like that. I do. I very rarely paint in silence, although I must admit, when I have, it's weird that you can, if you kind of start painting and you don't put anything on beforehand, like in preparation, I find I can be painting for like 30-40 minutes and I'm like, I should have been listening to something. Like, I've wasted time there. But it is amazing how like engrossed you can get, and it is quite nice painting in silence. Like, you're literally, that is it.
Yeah.
You're not, your attention is nowhere else other than that model.
See, now
and it still looks shit.
I'm going to completely disagree with that. I can't do it in silence. I have to have something on.
What about painting?
Oh no, that's complete silence. 3 minutes, back to sleep. So I listen to Paint Perspective, Trapped Under Plastic, The Painting Phase. I can't believe Peachy's left. Other podcasts I listen to, painting podcasts. No, I can't think of any painting podcasts off the top of my head that I listen to. I listen to, this is going to make me sound very odd, I like listening to a lot of true horror documentaries when I'm painting, like on YouTube. That Chapter, Mr. Balling, I like his stories. All weird, dark things I like listening to. Very rarely listen to music.
Yeah.
Video game reviews. Basically, I just trawl YouTube while I'm painting. I don't watch it though. So I'll put headphones on, or I'll put it to the side, and I'll just put a 45-minute crime, true horror documentary on. Yeah. And just leave it and play, or a podcast, a 2-hour podcast, and just leave. I'll put things on that I don't have to look at. Yeah. If you're looking at something, I feel like it takes your attention away from what you're doing. Definitely. I don't put Netflix or anything on in the background, because I think, again, even if it's something I've seen 100 times, I put Lord of the Rings on. Even though I've seen it 100 times, I still want to watch the bit. Yourself watching. Yeah, I'll just watch the the Ents attack. Yeah. Isengard, or So no, I don't put anything on that I have to watch. I just listen to a lot of either hobby related or horror. I like horror. I love horror movies, documentaries, films, true crime, scary stories. I love all things like that. My wife always laughs at me. Oh, you believe all this rubbish? Yeah, but I like it. I like the thought, I like the feeling of like the horror. I don't know, I'm just weird, but yeah. Or sometimes it'll be like video game reviews, a game that's coming up, or a deep dive on a video game I might listen to, or a board game reviews, or things like that. So yeah, I just trawl YouTube for general nerdy interests that I have, and just put that on and listen to that in the background while I'm painting.
Yeah, I suppose you've got quite a lot more time to fill, whereas mine, I guess that's probably why I have times where I kind of enjoy the silence. Yeah. Because there's less of it. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, whereas I'm the other way around. I'm on my own all day in silence. Yeah. So I feel it with noise, basically. Yeah. I don't really listen to music. Sometimes I do, but I find sometimes that can almost be a bit more distracting, especially if it's a song you really like and you're getting into listening to the song and you're not really... I like, just background noise of something I can listen to. And if I don't hear all of it because I'm concentrating, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's what I'll just really say. But thanks, Mark, for that one. And then the next one, which is the most important and best one, which I've saved till last, again from Above Average Minis, Mark. Non-hobby question: onion or garlic? You can only have one forever. Pick your destiny. This is an important question. Probably the most important question I've ever been asked in my life. Will you marry me? Well, for me, it's got to be onion. I like garlic, but I could live without garlic. I do like it, but onion, I love onions. I love onions in everything. So yeah, onions. Why you give me that look? Like you're gonna say something?
No.
You're wrong.
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, onion.
You're wrong.
Not a hobby question. Yeah.
No, I'd say it's interesting because I feel like there's a lot more flavour in garlic.
Yeah, there is. But I think onion goes with...
onion is almost want to say onion is a staple.
Yeah, and...
of so many foods.
You can have too much garlic sometimes, I think. Sometimes
but you can never have too much onion.
No, you can't. Cheese and onion sandwich, raw onion sandwich. Oh, that's dirty. That is lovely. Onions in like you said, it's a staple of most meals. Chuck onion in it, tastes better. The smell of frying onions.
I would say garlic is... Hot take. No, I would say garlic is massively underused in cooking.
Yeah, especially in the UK.
Yeah, I think like if you go to France, they probably put garlic in everything, like for good reason.
Stereotypical bastard.
No, that is onions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it's garlic, isn't it? They have the garlic round their neck.
Onions, isn't it?
No, it's garlic.
Is it?
Yeah, like they're the blue striped shirt and the ring of garlic.
I thought I was being stereotypical.
Yeah, well, I am now. I'm trying to prove a point. French stereotype outfit. There you go. Look, he's got garlic round his neck.
Onions round his neck.
Shut up. Look, that is definitely garlic.
That is garlic, yeah.
French garlic garland.
Garlic garland.
Garlic garland. French garlic garlic. So yeah, I was right.
So onion then.
So onion, yeah. Onion forever. What about you? Onion or garlic? I love how you're taking it so... I've really got to think about this. It's not going to happen, Darren. Don't worry. You can have both.
Oh, it will happen.
Oh, Mark's going to make sure. He's going to come over and remove onion or garlic from your life.
Onion, yeah. My gut was onion.
Your gut was onion, but you'll miss the flavour of garlic.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Garlic's got a lot more flavour.
Yeah, but onion's got... Yeah. Onion. You're wrong if you say garlic.
You're wrong. You haven't even said anything, but you're wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. You were wrong about this at the outfit.
You can't respond, but you're wrong.
Yeah, cinema. Oh dear. Peachy's left the painting phase. That's crazy. Yeah.
I did actually get a comment.
Uh-oh.
I did get another question.
Here we go.
And it was from your wife.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. What was it? Is it going to be... It's probably not going to be... You can't say it out loud, can you?
I can say it out loud, but it comes with a disclaimer that there's a very rude word coming up.
Why are you a massive...
I just get a message from Dickie's wife saying... Because I said, yeah, we're doing a new section. It's listeners' questions. Ask us anything.
Technically, she does listen, so...
Yeah. You just get this message. Why is Richard a cunt?
You wait till I get home, you bitch. It's a
fair question.
Yeah, it's a fair question.
I did say I was going to ask the same question, so
fine,
makes sense really.
It's a fair question that's been asked many times. So when I know the answer, I'll let her know.
Yeah, fine.
I might get hold of my lawyers in the morning. I think time for a divorce.
Cut that bit out.
Bitch.
Yeah. That wraps it up for another episode.
On
that bombshell.
On that bombshell.
Yeah, and Peachy's left. So
yeah, Peachy's left, and I'm going to the cinema after this. I think.
Hang on. Do your other hobby?
Yeah, fine. Eating cloves of garlic.
Eating cloves of onion.
It's all falling apart. It's all going wrong.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, we're putting up with this rubbish for however long it's been.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, you know the usual. Do as the boss man says.
Follow us, please.
Please.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.